Welcome back to the Nathan Joseph podcast. I'm going to fly in with this one. So, I've been doing a lot of thinking recently and really doing a clear out on my Instagram, my social media platforms in terms of the people and the information that I am taking in and who I want to be on my feed and the people that I want to learn from. I'm not doing that by unfollowing loads of people because that would mean that I would lose a hell of a lot of time, and time is the most valuable commodity. So rather than that, I'm making sure that when I see a post that I am interested in, I'm liking it, which is going to repurpose that on my feed, which is very important. But what it's made me think deeply into is what makes a person successful. And I'll take you to a story of when I was younger. I remember from a very young age, I was lucky in the sense I was brought up, I should say, in quite an affluent area. So there were a lot of wealthy people in and around me, a lot of business owners. My mates' dads were business owners, people that are really high up in companies. And I've got quite an observer personality where I do like to try and take in information on what makes people successful, because ultimately, for me, from a very young age, I knew I was going to be successful. I knew I was going to have my own business. I knew exactly the direction that I wanted to go in my life. So rather than try and work it all out myself, I thought, well, there is something that these people in my life must have in common that is making them hyper successful in their jobs or in their own businesses. At first I thought it would have something to do with intelligence, but over time I realised that, not in a horrible way, but there are some idiots that have multi-million pound businesses, multi-million dollar businesses. So I don't think it is, or I know that intelligence isn't something that determines your success. And I actually learned through the gym what makes somebody successful. And okay, it's not financial, but it's the same principles in place that do create success for people. And that's what I'm going to run through in this podcast today, because if you can implement all of these things, in my opinion, there is absolutely no way that you aren't successful in whatever you set your mind to, whether it is building a physique, whether it is running your own business, whether it is in your relationship, whatever it may be. I believe that these 5, say, commandments, no, they're not commandments because I'm not God, but these 5 traits, let's say that, they will bring you success. And from, I wouldn't say it's research, but from my observations, when you apply these 5 things, there is nothing that can stop you. In no particular order. The first one, and the most important one, well, actually it's not the most important because you need all 5, but you need to be disciplined. And people always talk about discipline, and it's like a buzzword on social media at the moment. But to be disciplined means to focus on your goal and ignore distraction, in my opinion. And you are that focused on your goal, it doesn't matter how big the distraction is to you, you're going to move towards it. So if you don't have a certain level of discipline in your life, you're not going to achieve much in the area that you're looking to achieve the certain goal. So for example, in the gym, if you're not disciplined with the gym, your workout program, you will never see results, because you're never going to go into a gym, have one amazing session and see the results the next day. That's not how it works. So discipline is a trait that every successful person has, and it's the ability to turn up on the days that you don't want to, but you know that you need to. I say that all the time, but honestly, if you can start doing things that you don't want to do, that you need to do on the days that you don't want to, it is honestly like a superpower. The next one is very closely linked. So number 2 is consistency. Like discipline, I'd say consistency is very similar in the sense that you have to be consistent. Whatever you put your mind to, you have to put enough days in a row to allow the results to happen. It's almost your way to get that delayed gratification. If you stay consistent throughout the journey of developing, leveling up, growing, then how do you not achieve success in your area of your designated goal? It's impossible. If you're consistent with discipline, again, I fail to see how you won't be successful. This is number 3 is one that I think a lot of people foul on, or they don't have the ability to hold this trait for long enough to then achieve success. So I don't think this is more important than discipline and consistency. However, this is one that I'd say a lot of people lack. I've lacked it a lot in my life. It is a trait that is so difficult to maintain because, as I've mentioned already, time is so important. And we live in a society where everybody wants everything right now. And to achieve your goals, to achieve success, a trait that you must have is patience, because you cannot expect on a certain day to reap the rewards from the effort that you're putting in. All that you need to know is the effort that you are putting in is, and if you continue along the process that you're putting in, you will one day achieve the result that you're looking for. So if you have that patience, if you have more patience, then you will achieve success. If I look at myself, I started a business before, and it was an app. I've spoke about it on the podcast before. An app for personal trainers. Now, from the day that I met with the team I'd put together that I believed was going to make this app a success, from that day I said, in a year's time I'm going to be a millionaire. The reality was, it took 10 months for the app to even get on the App Store, after it going through different stages that it needed to go through before it could become accessible to the public. So I wasn't patient enough, and because I put that year stamp on it, when it got past the year, I almost viewed myself as a failure, and then my effort sort of dipped off because I was a failure. It hadn't happened like I was. It must have meant that the effort that I was putting in wasn't working. But if I didn't move to Australia and I continued to do the app, I'm pretty sure that would have been a major success by now, if there wasn't the old CVID through the middle. So far we've got discipline, we've got consistency, and we've got patience. They are 3 key traits that you need if you want to be successful with anything. The 4th trait, which sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. I'll be very honest with you. Sometimes it escapes me. And it is a constant battle, because if you fall into your comfort zone, it is so much harder to get out of it. Whereas if you constantly drag yourself out of your comfort zone, then it just seems a little bit easier to get shit done, because once you're settled in that comfort zone, it's impossible. Well, it's not impossible, it's just very fucking difficult to get out of it. So the 4th trait is hard work. Again, wherever your goals lie, you need to work hard to achieve them. If getting a 6-pack was easy, everyone would have a 6-pack. If earning £1 million was easy, everyone would be a millionaire. No. The reality is, it's not easy, and I don't like to attribute success in fitness to having a six-pack. I think, don't get me wrong, there are definitely you are definitely more confident with a six-pack. However, obviously we know that you can be really struggling with your mental health at the same time, because I was doing that as well. But I would never say that I was unconfident in my body. It was more in my mind. But that's talk for another day. So hard work. You need to work hard for it, because one thing that I always think is, like, when I struggled with my mental health, there was definitely at points of just a severe lack of purpose. I remember a question I asked myself all the time was, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? What is the point in me being here? And that was because I just felt that I had no purpose, because I wasn't working hard to gain anything. And if you don't have the ability to work hard to get what you want, obviously you're never going to achieve it. No one is going to turn up one day and say, here you go, here's your dreams, your aspirations, and everything you want in life, and place it on your lap. No, you need to go out there, you need to work for it, and you need to work fucking hard for it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 there. Discipline, consistency, patience, hard work. Excuse me. And the final trait that I believe, oh my God, sorry, just got something in my throat there. And the final trait that I believe makes you successful is you have to, or I want to word this right. And again, this is a lesson that I learned from the gym, which I think that is, the gym is just the most fairest place on the planet, and it will show you exactly what does work. Because if I take you through 1, 2, 3, and 4, if you're disciplined in the gym, you're going to get results. If you're consistent in the gym, you're going to get results. If you're patient in the gym, you're going to get results. And if you're hard working, you're going to get results. But also, number 5, the trait that you need to have, which I go as far to say as with patience as well, is the top 2 that people can lack. Number 5 is knowing that failure is not final. And I'm going to use the gym as the analogy there again, is there is no one that has stepped into a gym that has never failed in the gym. The first time I went into a gym and I was having an induction, the PT asked me to bench press a barbell. I couldn't do it because the barbell was too heavy. I failed to lift it. Now, a dumbbell titty press, 50 kgs in each hand, I could probably bench press 140 kilos. So I've gone from not being able to do 20 kilos to being able to do 140 kilos. Because I know failure isn't final. So for me personally, if I fail at something, it shows me, just like in the gym, if I fail in a rep at the gym, I know that I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone and I'm taking it to my absolute limit. And in life, when you fail, again, you've just pushed yourself to your comfort zone, but there is so much to learn in that journey. So the failure is not final. You just need to work out how you can come back and go again. So just to clear it up, just to summarize all of that, for me, from the things that the people that I've studied, I should say, the 5 traits that are going to make you successful in whatever you turn your hand to is going to be discipline, consistency, patience, hard work, and knowing that failure isn't final. I hope you've really enjoyed that podcast today. If you have, of course, make sure you're following, give it a like if you're feeling really generous. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe to the channel. And of course, I'll catch you next week. Have an amazing week, guys, and stay up. Just stay working hard, stay grinding. On the days that you don't want to, just know that they're the ones that truly count, and get after it.